Your mind is like your body. It becomes what you feed it. If you consume negativity, doubt, and excuses every day, don't be surprised when your life reflects that. But if you fill your mind with discipline, growth, and vision, your reality will shift to match it. See, most people don't realize that their thoughts are their diet. They think food is the only thing shaping their health, but your mental diet determines your success. You can't expect to be great while feeding yourself small-minded thinking. You can't expect to build something powerful while surrounding yourself with weak conversations. What you allow into your mind becomes your beliefs, and your beliefs control your actions. Your actions control your results. So if you want a new life, start by changing what you consume mentally. Too many people want success, but they surround themselves with negativity. They listen to people who have already quit on their dreams. They take advice from those who have never built anything, and then they wonder why they feel stuck. Your environment is shaping you every second of the day. You can't listen to the doubters and expect confidence. You can't watch garbage all day and expect a sharp mind. You have to be intentional about what you feed yourself mentally. Every podcast, every book, every conversation, it's either feeding your potential or starving it. And when you understand that, you won't allow just anything into your mind. Your mental diet isn't just about what you hear, it's about what you say to yourself. Your self-talk is shaping your reality. Every time you tell yourself, I can't, you're programming yourself to fail. Every time you say, I'm not good enough, you reinforce that belief, and beliefs become reality. So if you want to shift your life, start by shifting your language. Stop saying I can't. Start saying I will. Stop saying I don't know how. Start saying I'll figure it out. Your words are not just words, they are instructions to your subconscious. The mind follows what you tell it, so start speaking the future you want. You got to guard your mind like it's your greatest asset, because it is. The same way you wouldn't let just anyone dump trash in your house, don't let just anything into your mind. Be ruthless about what you allow into your space. Cut out the distractions. Cut out the gossip. Cut out the conversations that drain you instead of build you. People will call you crazy for it. They'll say you're too focused. But listen, the greats didn't get there by being casual with their minds. They protected their focus like their life depended on it, because it did. And if you want to elevate, you have to do the same. The challenge is that negativity is everywhere, and if you don't actively fight it, it will creep in. You have to fight for your mindset daily. That means feeding your mind with wisdom, discipline, and success. That means reading books that challenge you, listening to voices that inspire you, and surrounding yourself with people who push you to grow. Because here's the truth. If you don't control your mental diet, someone else will. And I promise you, the world will feed you fear, doubt, and mediocrity if you let it. But you don't have to accept that. You can choose to feed your mind something different. The people at the top didn't get there by accident. They designed their minds for success. They filled their thoughts with possibility, their conversations with vision, and their environment with energy that fueled them. And over time, their reality shifted to match their mindset. That's what you have to do. You have to take control of what you consume mentally, because everything you put into your mind is shaping the life you live. The problem is most people don't even realize what they're feeding their minds. They wake up and the first thing they do is scroll through negativity. They check the news, they check social media, and before they even step out of bed, their mind is already filled with doubt, fear, and comparison. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, why they lack motivation, why they can't seem to get ahead. Listen to me. Your morning routine, the first thing you consume, it sets the tone for your entire day. You can't start your day with negativity and expect positive results. You've got to be intentional. Wake up and feed your mind something powerful. Read something that stretches you. Listen to something that inspires you. Because if you don't take control of your mental diet, the world will do it for you. And the world will feed you fear. Think about what happens when you surround yourself with people who complain all the time. When you're around people who make excuses, who blame the system, who blame their circumstances, it starts to infect you. Their mindset becomes your mindset. Their habits become your habits. And before you know it, you're thinking just like them, stuck, frustrated, looking for reasons why life isn't working out. But the opposite is also true. When you surround yourself with winners, when you're around people who think big, who take action, who hold themselves accountable, that energy shifts your mindset. You start to think differently. You start to believe in bigger possibilities. And when you believe bigger, you achieve bigger. The truth is, success isn't just about talent or hard work. It's about how you think. It's about what you allow into your mind. If you want to change your life, you have to change the way you think. And the way you think is shaped by what you feed your mind every single day. You've got to eliminate the distractions. You've got to cut out the noise. You've got to make sure that every single thing you consume is in alignment with the future you want to create. Some of you are struggling not because you're not capable, but because you're constantly consuming things that weaken you. You're watching content that distracts you instead of inspires you. You're spending hours on entertainment that adds nothing to your growth. You're in conversations that drain your energy. And then you wonder why you don't feel driven, why you don't feel hungry, why you don't feel like pushing yourself. Listen, if you want to feel motivated, start feeding your mind motivation. If you want to feel disciplined, start consuming content that reinforces discipline. If you want to feel powerful, start surrounding yourself with powerful thoughts, powerful words, powerful people. You've got to program your mind for success the same way an athlete programs their body for performance. No athlete wakes up and eats junk food expecting to perform at their best. They fuel their body with what they need to win, and you've got to do the same thing with your mind. If you want to perform at a high level, you have to fuel your mind with high-level content. Every book you read, every podcast you listen to, every conversation you engage in, it's either pushing you forward or pulling you back. And if you want to win, you've got to make sure that every single thing you consume is designed to build you, not break you. Some people won't understand this. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're too focused. They'll call you obsessed. But that's because they don't see what you see. They don't have the vision you have. They're comfortable staying the same, but you're not. You're hungry for something bigger. You're ready to grow. And if that means cutting off the noise, if that means being intentional about your mental diet, if that means choosing growth over comfort, then so be it. Because at the end of the day, your mind is your most valuable asset. And if you take control of what you feed it, there is nothing you can't achieve. Your mental diet is the foundation of your success. You can't expect to think like a champion if you're feeding your mind like a loser. It's just like the body. You can't eat junk food every day and expect to be in peak physical condition. The same principle applies to your mind. What you consume mentally shapes how you see yourself, how you see the world, and how you respond to challenges. Some of you don't even realize it, but you've been poisoning your own potential. You've been allowing negativity to take root in your mind for so long that now it feels normal. You've been consuming so much doubt, so much fear, so much distraction that now you think that's just how life is. But listen to me, life doesn't have to be that way. You can rewire your mindset. You can break free from limiting beliefs. You can reset your mental diet and start feeding yourself the thoughts, the habits, and the mindset that will take you to the next level. But it's not going to happen overnight. Just like you don't get physically strong in one day at the gym, you don't build a powerful mindset with just one motivational video or one book. It's a daily process. Every day you've got to ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind? Am I feeding it strength or am I feeding it weakness? Am I surrounding myself with people who challenge me to grow or am I hanging around people who keep me small? Am I investing in learning or am I wasting my time on things that don't matter? Because every single thing you consume is shaping you. Every thought you allow in is planting a seed, and those seeds will either grow into something powerful or something poisonous. And let's be real, this isn't easy. Changing your mental diet requires discipline. It requires you to say no to things that used to entertain you. It requires you to walk away from conversations that used to feel comfortable. It requires you to challenge the way you've been thinking for years. But let me tell you something, nothing worth having comes easy. If you want to break out of mediocrity, you have to do what most people aren't willing to do. You have to take full control of what enters your mind. That means being mindful of your social media feed. Some of you wake up and the first thing you do is scroll through negativity. You see bad news, you see people complaining, you see people living lives that make you feel less than. And before you've even started your day, you've already planted doubt in your mind. You've already started the day in comparison mode, in fear mode, in frustration mode. And then you wonder why you don't feel motivated. Listen to me. If you want to start winning, you have to start filtering. You have to start choosing what you allow into your mental space. That means being mindful of the music you listen to. Some of you are playing songs that talk about struggle, about pain, about giving up, And you don't even realize that those lyrics are programming your mind. You don't even realize that the things you're listening to every day are shaping the way you think about yourself and your future. Instead of music that reinforces struggle, start listening to words that reinforce strength. Start feeding your mind with content that builds you up instead of tearing you down. And most importantly, that means being mindful of the people you surround yourself with. Because whether you like it or not, the people around you are shaping your mental diet. If you're constantly around people who doubt you, who make excuses, who complain about life but never do anything to change it, guess what? That mindset is contagious. But when you're around people who believe in themselves, who take action, who push themselves every single day, that energy rubs off on you too. You start thinking differently. You start seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. You start realizing that your potential isn't limited by your past, but by your mindset. So from this moment on, make a decision. Make a decision to control your mental diet. Make a decision to filter out the distractions, the negativity, the self-doubt. Make a decision to feed your mind with strength, with knowledge, with discipline. Because once you take control of your mind, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you from becoming the person you were meant to be. Your mental diet is everything. It determines whether you stay stuck or rise up. It determines whether you push forward or quit when things get tough. And the truth is, most people don't even realize that their mindset is the reason they're not where they want to be. They blame their circumstances. They blame their past. They blame the economy, their upbringing, their environment. But listen to me, your mind is your responsibility. Your growth is your responsibility. The moment you accept that is the moment you take control of your future. But here's the challenge. Changing your mental diet means reprogramming years of conditioning. Some of you have spent decades listening to people tell you what you can't do, what you shouldn't try, why you'll never make it. And now you've internalized those lies as your reality. That's why when an opportunity comes, you second guess yourself. That's why when you think about taking a risk, you hesitate. That's why you sabotage your own success. Because deep down, you've been feeding your mind doubt for so long that you started to believe it. So how do you change it? How do you rewire your mind for success? It starts with one simple but powerful shift. You have to become intentional about what you consume. You can't let just anything into your mind. You can't allow negativity to take up space in your thoughts. You can't allow distractions to steal your focus, because what you feed grows. If you feed fear, fear will grow. If you feed excuses, excuses will multiply. But if you feed strength, discipline, and self-belief, that's what will take root inside of you. This is why you have to audit your environment. Some of you are in circles that are keeping you small. You're surrounded by people who reinforce limiting beliefs, who drain your energy, who make you feel like dreaming big is a waste of time. And you wonder why you struggle to stay motivated. You wonder why every time you try to level up, something pulls you back down. It's because you're still holding on to environments that don't serve your growth. You have to let go. You have to be willing to walk away from conversations that don't align with your vision. You have to start surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who hold you accountable to a higher standard. But it's not just about people. It's also about your daily habits. What are you doing with your time? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you listening to? Because whether you realize it or not, every single input is shaping your mindset. Every time you binge watch a show, instead of working on your goals, you're reinforcing procrastination. Every time you scroll mindlessly through social media, instead of learning something new, you're reinforcing distraction. And every time you tell yourself, I'll do it later, you're strengthening the habit of putting things off. And listen, I'm not saying you can never relax. I'm not saying you can never enjoy entertainment. But what I am saying is that most people are overfeeding themselves on distraction and starving themselves of discipline. They consume hours of entertainment, but not even 10 minutes of self-improvement. They spend all day watching other people live their dreams, but won't take a single step toward their own. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why nothing is changing. It's because they haven't changed what they feed their mind. You need to start feeding yourself with the things that will elevate you. Start your day with something that builds you up, not something that tears you down. Read books that challenge you. Listen to podcasts that push you. Watch videos that educate and inspire you. Surround yourself with voices that reinforce growth, discipline, and success. Because when you shift your mental diet, everything else follows. Your confidence increases. Your focus sharpens. Your ability to handle challenges strengthens. And I know it's hard. I know it takes effort. But if you're serious about changing your life, this is the price you have to pay. You have to make sacrifices. You have to be willing to be different. You have to be willing to say no to what doesn't serve your future. Because at the end of the day, your success is a reflection of your mindset. Your reality is shaped by what you feed your mind. So decide today, what are you going to consume? What are you going to feed your future? Because whatever you choose, that's what will grow. Your mind is a battlefield, and every single day, you're either winning or losing. The problem is, most people don't even realize they're in a fight. They think life just happens to them. They think their struggles, their setbacks, their failures are out of their control. But that's not true. The truth is, what's happening in your life is a direct reflection of what's happening in your mind. If your mind is weak, your results will be weak. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, and excuses, your actions will follow that pattern. But here's the thing. You have the power to take control. You have the power to rewrite your story. It starts with what you allow into your mind, because what you consume, you become. If you constantly feed yourself negativity, if you constantly listen to people who don't believe in you, if you constantly let fear dictate your choices, don't be surprised when you look up and realize you're not where you want to be. It's not because you're not capable. It's not because you're not talented. It's because your mind has been trained to settle. Let me ask you something. What are you feeding your mind on a daily basis? Are you consuming things that make you stronger, or are you filling your mind with things that keep you stuck? Because every choice you make is either adding to your growth or taking away from it. Every time you choose to push yourself, every time you choose to learn, every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're rewiring your brain for success. But every time you give in to distractions, every time you let negative self-talk control you, every time you make an excuse instead of taking action, you're reinforcing failure. And I get it, this isn't easy. Changing your mental diet takes work. It takes effort. It takes a level of discipline that most people aren't willing to commit to, but that's why most people stay stuck. That's why most people live their entire lives never reaching their full potential, because they're not willing to do what it takes to rewire their mindset. But if you're serious about growth, if you're serious about success, you don't have a choice. You have to take control of your thoughts. You have to become intentional about what you consume. You have to wake up every day and guard your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but it's also your biggest enemy if you don't train it properly. That means cutting off the negativity. That means shutting out the doubt. That means surrounding yourself with people who push you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. Because listen to me. If you're the smartest, most motivated person in your circle, you're in the wrong circle. You need to be around people who make you level up, people who make you uncomfortable, people who push you to think bigger, work harder, and believe in yourself more than you ever have before. And let's talk about the content you consume, because some of you are feeding your mind nothing but junk. You spend hours scrolling on social media, watching people fake a life they're not even living, instead of using that time to build your own. You binge watch shows that add nothing to your growth. You listen to music that glorifies a lifestyle of laziness, excuses, and distractions, and then you wonder why you don't have the motivation to go after your dreams. It's because your mind is full of things that weaken you instead of things that strengthen you. You need to make a shift. You need to start feeding your mind with things that empower you. Read books that expand your thinking. Listen to content that pushes you to be better. Study successful people and learn from their habits. Fill your mind with knowledge, wisdom, and strategies that will help you elevate. Because the more you consume things that align with your goals, the more your mind will start to shift. And once your mind shifts, your actions shift, your confidence shifts, your energy shifts. And when that happens, everything in your life starts to change. Because success isn't about luck. It's not about talent. It's about mindset. It's about the discipline to control your thoughts, control your habits, and control your environment. It's about making the daily decision to invest in yourself, to feed your mind with the right things, and to reject anything that doesn't serve your growth. Because at the end of the day, your reality is a reflection of what you've been feeding your mind. If you want a different reality, you need a different mental diet. So the question is, what are you choosing to consume? What are you choosing to believe? What are you choosing to focus on? Because whatever you feed will grow. And if you're not growing, it's time to change the diet. Your mind is the command center of your life. It dictates your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately your results. If you want to change your life, you don't start with your circumstances, you start with your mindset. The problem is most people are feeding their minds a steady diet of fear, doubt, and negativity. They wake up scrolling through social media, comparing their lives to others. They let news headlines fill them with anxiety. They listen to people who have never accomplished anything tell them what's possible. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. You have to understand, your mind is programmable. It will believe whatever you tell it over and over again. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, your mind will find evidence to support that belief. If you tell yourself success is impossible, your mind will find reasons to prove you right. But if you start telling yourself you are capable, you are strong, and you are destined for greatness, your mind will go to work to make that your reality. That's why your mental diet is everything. If you've been living in fear, if you've been doubting yourself, if you've been stuck in the same place for years, it's time to check what you've been feeding your mind. Are you surrounding yourself with winners, or are you letting negative people speak into your life? Are you listening to powerful, uplifting messages, or are you consuming entertainment that keeps you stagnant? Every single thing you allow into your mind is shaping you. You don't get to take in negativity all day and then expect to feel powerful. It doesn't work like that. And let's be real, rewiring your mind isn't easy. It's not a quick fix. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's a daily battle. It's a commitment. It's about waking up every morning and deciding that today you are going to feed your mind with things that make you stronger. Today, you are going to shut down the negative voices. Today, you are going to protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. You have to start acting like your mind is sacred. You wouldn't put poison in your body, so why are you putting poison in your mind? Why are you allowing doubt, fear, and self-sabotage to take up space in your thoughts? Why are you giving attention to things that don't help you grow? It's time to take control. It's time to filter out the garbage and replace it with fuel. And that means making some tough choices. That means cutting off toxic influences. That means saying no to things that drain you, even if they feel familiar, because familiarity doesn't mean healthy. Some of you are stuck in the same cycles because you're addicted to what's comfortable. You're holding on to relationships that keep you small. You're consuming media that keeps you fearful. You're replaying the same limiting beliefs in your head over and over again, and it's stopping you from stepping into the person you were meant to be. But here's the good news. You can reprogram your mind. You can train your brain to think differently. You can shift your focus from fear to faith, from doubt to confidence, from excuses to action. And the more you do it, the stronger you become. Because the mind, just like the body, gets stronger with training. The more you exercise discipline over your thoughts, the easier it gets. The more you feed your mind with knowledge, wisdom, and positivity, the more powerful you become. Success starts in the mind. It doesn't start with money, connections, or luck. It starts with how you think. It starts with what you believe is possible for you. And if you want to create a different reality, you have to first create a different mindset. That means making the decision right now to stop feeding your mind things that don't serve you. That means making the choice to prioritize growth, to invest in yourself, and to surround yourself with the right influences. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful thing you will ever control is your mind. Everything you want, every goal, every dream, every breakthrough starts with what you believe. And if you want to change your life, you have to start with your mental diet. So what are you feeding your mind today? Because whatever you feed will grow. Your mental diet is the foundation of your success. Everything you think, everything you believe, everything you say to yourself, it all creates the reality you live in. If you don't take control of what you allow into your mind, the world will do it for you. And let me tell you something, the world is not designed to make you powerful. It's designed to keep you weak, to keep you distracted, to keep you second guessing yourself. That's why you have to be intentional about what you consume. Most people don't even realize they've been programmed. They don't realize that their fears, their doubts, and their insecurities are not even their own. They were planted there by family, by society, by failure, by past trauma. And instead of questioning those beliefs, instead of challenging the thoughts that hold them back, they accept them as truth. They live their entire lives in a mental prison, never understanding that they had the key to unlock the door all along. But here's the truth. You have the power to rewire your mind. You have the ability to shift your thinking, to reshape your beliefs, and to take control of your own narrative. But it's going to take work. It's going to take effort. Just like you can't eat junk food every day and expect to be healthy, you can't feed your mind negativity and expect to be successful. You have to put in the rep. You have to train yourself to think differently, to see opportunities instead of obstacles, to choose faith over fear, That's why discipline is everything. You don't wait until you feel motivated to feed your mind the right things. You do it because you know it's necessary. You wake up and choose to listen to things that uplift you. You choose to read books that challenge you. You choose to have conversations that push you forward instead of holding you back. You don't let your emotions decide what you consume. You let your vision decide. You let your purpose guide you. Because the truth is, your mind is always working. It's always picking up messages, always absorbing information. And if you're not careful, if you're not intentional, it will default to negativity. It will default to fear. It will default to the programming that has kept you small your entire life. That's why you have to make a conscious effort every single day to train your mind for success. And let me be real with you. It's not going to be easy. It's going to feel uncomfortable at first. It's going to feel unnatural because for years you've been conditioned to think small. For years you've been told what you can and can't do. You've been told to play it safe, to not take risks, to stay in your lane. But that stops now. That ends today. Because today you take control. Today you make the decision to stop letting your past define you. Today you stop letting other people's opinions shape your future. You have to understand, every successful person you admire, every great leader, every high achiever, they all had to do this work. They weren't born with an unshakable mindset. They weren't handed confidence. They had to build it. They had to reprogram their thoughts. They had to replace fear with faith, doubt with determination, distractions with discipline. And if they did it, so can you. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the way you think. It's not your circumstances. It's not your background. It's not your resources. It's your mindset. Because when you think differently, you act differently. And when you act differently, your results change. So the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep feeding your mind the same things and expecting different results? Or are you going to take control? Are you going to start feeding yourself things that make you stronger, that make you better, that push you toward your goals? Because the truth is, your mind is your most powerful weapon. And if you don't control it, the world will.